On the issue of the resolution, I said that I would have followed exactly what Senator Biden did, who was head of the Foreign Relations in the Senate. And he voted for it, and he voted for it saying that he had had enough discussions and enough dialogue and looked to what he expected to unravel and needed to give the president the kind of support that he felt was necessary to go into the negotiations. And what I've said all along is that what I expect to have happened is that a resolution will be worked out of the United Nations, that it will have strong language in it, that the inspectors will go in. I have a great deal of respect for Mr. Blix, the head of the inspection team, and that it will all be under the guise of the United Nations. And with that being the sort of the backdrop, I never had any problem with the, quote, unilateral issue, never had any problem that we were overstepping our bounds. We have 7 Arab nations that are already in line with us, working with us. We have England, we have Tony Blair behind us, we have lots of other countries that are behind us. I felt that it was appropriate to have the resolution in order to be able to give Colin Powell the kind of authority to work with and come out with the resolution I expect to be coming out this coming week.
Jay Newton.
For hosting this debate. I voted against the resolution which would have given the president unlimited authority to wage war against Iraq whenever he saw fit. And I voted against it for several reasons. Number one, it seems to me that you have got to, as a nation, we have got to do everything that we can to resolve conflicts without war. A war against Iraq could likely cost the lives of tens of thousands of women and children in that country, plus perhaps many young men and women in the United States armed forces. And clearly we've got to do everything that we can to not go to war and yet deal with the fact that Saddam Hussein is a terrible dictator and a tyrant, and we've got to address the problem of the possibility of weapons of mass destruction in his country. Second reason that I voted against it is that I think if the United States and the president believe that they have the right to go to war in a preemptive strike whenever we see that as a good idea, there is nothing to stop China from doing the same, Russia from doing the same, India and Pakistan from doing the same. And in a world in which at least 8 countries have nuclear weapons, what you want to do is calm down the drumbeat of war and not increase it. And lastly, I think the major beneficiary of an American invasion and occupation of Iraq would be Osama bin Laden, because there would be a huge increase in anti-Americanism, and I fear very much that if the United States occupied Baghdad, what we would be doing is bringing recruits to al-Qaeda, which would be very dangerous, needless to say.